There are certain types of verbs, actually 2 types of verbs, that are different from each other if you make them in the past tense. And in this lesson, you will learn all about the difference and how to use it. Hallo lieve vrienden. So, in the Dutch language, there are verbs and there are 2 types. First is what we call, in the grammar rules, strong verbs, and the other weak verbs. And strong means that if you place it in the past tense, the sound changes. And the weak verbs, if you place it in the past tense, it stays the same, but there's only a DE or a TE placed after it. So the strong ones, the strong verbs are, if you are learning Dutch, the most difficult to learn because there's no rule about it how it will sound in the past tense. You just have to remember all the words and how they sound in the past tense. Just like in English, we have plenty of examples from English, right? Like singing, I sing, and in the past tense, I sang, right? There's no rule for that. You just have to remember this is so. In the Dutch language, we have the same. So I'll give you some examples to practice with. To stay, I stay, that is ik blijf. I stay here, ik blijf hier. I stayed for a week. Ik ben een week gebleven. Right, so present tense blijf, past tense bleef. I stayed a week. Ik bleef een week. Point in Dutch is wijs. Ik wijs naar jou. I point to you. Past tense is wees. Gisteren wees ik naar iemand anders. Yesterday I pointed to someone else. Walking. I walk in Dutch is ik loop. Yesterday I walked. Gisteren liep ik. So walk, loop, walked is liep. To sit. Ik zit. Yesterday I sat somewhere else. Gisteren zat ik ergens anders. So I sit, ik zit, I sat, ik zat. To watch. Ik kijk, I watch. I watched, ik keek. I watch a movie, ik kijk een film. Yesterday I watched a series. Gisteren keek ik naar een serie. Sleeping. I sleep, ik slaap. Yesterday I slept on the couch. Gisteren sliep ik op de bank. So, ik slaap, present tense. Ik sliep, past tense. And singing, I sing, ik zing. Yesterday I sang something else. Gisteren zong ik iets anders. So, ik zing, present tense. Ik zong, past tense. So these are strong verbs. So there's no rule for that. Just remember them. So in my formal training material that I'm developing currently, you will learn a lot of those and you will just have to put it in your head and remember them and practice with them. Then, how do the weak verbs work? These are much simpler. So, to live. I live, ik leef. I lived, ik leefde. So it's the same word, only I put the DE after it. To cycle. Ik fiets. Yesterday I cycled. Gisteren fietste ik. So from fiets to fietste. Present tense to past tense. To run. I run. Ik ren. Yesterday I ran. Gisteren rende ik. So from ren, present tense, to rende, past tense. To travel. I travel, ik reis. I traveled, ik reisde. So that's in the past tense. So present tense, ik reis. Past tense, ik reisde. Another, to wash. I wash, ik was. I wash my body, ik was mijn lichaam. I washed my body, ik waste mijn lichaam. So you keep the same word, the basic word, and then place the te after it. To listen, that is, I listen, ik luister. Yesterday I listened to something else. Gisteren luisterde ik naar iets anders. So from luister to luisterde, past tense. And the final example, to learn. I learn, ik leer. In the past tense, ik leerde. So you may have noticed sometimes there's a te after it to make it past tense, and sometimes there's a de. So what's the difference? Just remember, if it sounds better, then that's the correct one. So if it's difficult to pronounce, then it's usually not the correct one. So if I would say, I wash, ik was mezelf. I wash myself. I washed myself, ik waste mijzelf. But if that would be wasde, that's more difficult to pronounce. Waste is easier. Wasde is like a tongue twister. Right, so the same with cycling. I cycle, ik fiets, and in the past tense, ik fietste. So if that would be ik fietsde, that's more difficult, right? So we'll make it fietste. And when do you use the de? Like to listen. I listen, present tense. Ik luister, and I listened. Past tense, ik luisterde. Ik luisterde doesn't sound right. So, ik luisterde. That is more easier to pronounce, at least for the Dutch. And if you don't think there's a difference in how easy it is to pronounce, then fall back on the rule. Just remember what the correct one is. I cannot make it any easier than this. All right. I understand this can be complicated, but these are just a handful of verbs that I have given you in this lesson. There are so much more, and it's just a matter of finding the words. If you have some more additions or some more examples of verbs that you place in present or past tense, please leave them in the comments. And if you have something to ask, also please comment below, and I am happy to respond to you and answer your question. All right, thank you for attending this lesson, and I'll see you in the next one. If this lesson was helpful, please give it a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss a single lesson. Also, if you want to develop your Dutch proficiency even faster, reach out to me for private lessons by sending me a DM or an email. Tot ziens!